Hey, this is Rick with Shooter 1721. You're like, what do you got going on there? That looks like the Air Javelin you got there. It is the Air Javelin, but it's the Air Javelin Pro. You're like, Pro, what changed? No more CO2, PCP. 120 cc's of air, probably 20, I get anywhere from 20 to 25 shots, but guess how fast it's traveling using HPA? 370 feet per second. This only weighs probably about 4.75 pounds, maybe 34 inches totally extended there, so you know you got something nice and short. You're like, wow, okay. And the accuracy you get even at 40 yards, which we hope to show you, we could probably put 3 shots under a quarter. That would be a quarter. And it's just amazingly accurate. Umarex did an outstanding job by going away from the CO2 model and coming into the PCP and making it. I think that was one of the best decisions on an upgrade to an air gun, is doing this. The optics what we have on top here is the Leaper's crossbow scope. And I think this is a 1 to 5 to 6 on here. And this is the set it and forget it. And you're like, what are you talking about? Well, what we do is we set it to the feet per second, sight in at 20 yards, leave it. That's it. You're done. So you're sight in at 20, your reticle inside, you have a 20-yard pin, you got your 30, you got your 40. Of course, you have increments for 5 yards in between those also. Once you set it, you can pretty much just go with, if you got a shot with your rangefinder at 80 yards, it's 80 yards. The only thing that you'll ever deal with, since this arrow is a 170 grain arrow and you're going to shoot 80 yards, you're going to have a wind drift. If there's a 10 mile an hour wind and 8 mile an hour wind, you will have a wind drift with that arrow. It will happen. Now, being that it's shooting 370 feet per second with a 170 grain arrow, that gives us about 52 foot-pounds, which is, to me, that's really outstanding for just such a small thing. They say the cocking effort on this is 27 pounds. All right, that was my pinky. I think you guys get what I'm saying. I mean, the cocking lever is very amazing. Now, let's talk about the trigger a little bit, because I want to talk about that trigger pull is 5 pounds. But it's a spring 5 pounds. And what that means is you got all that dead. You can feel, take all the dead out of the trigger when you want to make a nice accurate shot. You just take all that dead out and you can feel it. And you can feel the release point. It's the same every time. It's there at that point when you pull back and it's right at 5 pounds. Exactly what they said. And like I said, getting 21 to 25 shots is amazing with 120 cc's of air. I think they did a really nice job with this gun. Well, that's enough talking about this gun. Let's sit down and shoot this gun. Woo! Okay, here we are at 40 yards with the Air Javelin Pro. This is an amazing shooting arrow launcher. I'm super impressed with its feet per second. I'm really impressed with its accuracy. Of course, you can Robin Hood pretty easy. So today's video, you're not going to see this perfect tight little group because I'm a little worried about Robin Hood and arrows, but we're going to go with the standard archery range of 40 yards. And since we're shooting these 170 grain arrows at 370 feet per second, I think that 40 yards is really good. I think you're going to get, depending on the tip that you would use, I think you're going to get some great penetration and great accuracy. Umarex, you did an awesome job by converting this to a PCP. I think that's a great idea. Here's another thing I noticed with this, with the Pro. When you push this in, you can feel it lock. And what I mean by that is, look, it's not coming out. The scope that optics we're using is we're using the Leaper's crossbow scope. And this is a 1.5 to 6 on here. And this is a set it and forget it. And you're like, what are you talking about? Well, what it is, you set it to the feet per second. We'll do a close-up of this. Once you set it to the feet per second, then all your yardage is in. Once you zero at 20, you can just follow this the whole way through. And since this is PCP now, it just makes it so much better. Now watch this. Here's the hard part. Oh my, that was just so hard to cock that. All right, let's launch one at 40 and see how we do. That's right in there. Now I shot that one, Ryan, a little to the left. And we'll see what we do here. I'm gonna move back to the center, I think. All right. I got a little dangerous there. All right. You know, I'm saying I'm not going to shoot that group, and I'm shooting it anyway. I do not want a Robin Hood here. Those two. Am I just asking for trouble or what?
Oh yeah, it's in your DNA.
You can't escape it.
What the world? Are those three like touching? And I said I wouldn't do that. I don't know what to tell you guys. That is accurate, and you can see that as we're going to walk down there and take a look. But I have a feeling those three are pretty close, and I hope one of them is not a Robin Hood, but we will find out. But there you go. There's accuracy at 40 yards, which is pretty amazing. All right, so we're going to walk down here 40 yards and see what we got there, and see if it... I was trying to keep a 2-inch circle. Maybe I did. I don't know. I tried to keep them from hitting too close to each other, but that's the thing about being a trick shot artist. Sometimes it just, the accuracy always seems to stay the same, and I'm a little worried. What do we see here? And of course, on camera, there it is. Look at that. That is, here, I'll just keep those in. That is definitely a quarter-size group at 40 yards. I thought I did Robin Hood there, Ryan, when I first walked down. Well, there you go. There's the accuracy. That's 40 yards. There we go. Not bad. All right, let's see what else we can get into. Okay, well, you saw that beautiful 40-yard quarter-inch group, and I mean quarter-inch. Sorry, under a quarter, not quarter-inch. But we now have moved the bag, and somebody decided to put a clay bird down there at 82 yards, and we're going to see if we can, with this optic, we want to hold 82. We're going to have a wind drift, I know that, but we're going to see if we can hit this clay bird at 82 yards here. So we'll see what the drift is and see if I can get it in a couple shots here. Man, that's just so hard to cock. Did you see that? That's almost impossible. All right, so we're going to hold 80 on here, and let's see if we're in the ballpark. Okay, there's our wind drift, and that looks to be a little bit low from our 80 point. So since it is 82, I'm going to adjust for the 82 and see what happens. The drift we got on the arrow, since it's only, I think, 170 grain arrow, I think the drift was almost a foot. So I'm going to compensate. Let's see if we can get this. Woo! Come on, man. There's your compensation right there. What do you think? I think that Umarex did an excellent job with this. That's just amazing, guys. Great work with this, but there you go. I mean, shoot the first one. I know we want to be dead on with the first one, but find out what the wind drift was there. I didn't have any weeds down there blowing around, so I had to just shoot that first shot. Okay, here we are at the end of the video, and what we learned about the Airjavelin Pro. Well, they said it had 370 feet per second. There's no doubt in my mind, because that's exactly what the scope's set for, or it wouldn't work. We also saw its accuracy at 40 yards was perfect. We even launched one at 80 yards on the clay bird, took 2 shots just to adjust for wind. It has the accuracy the whole way out to 100. They even shot a balloon that I'll have Ryan cut in here. 100 yards offhand, 1 shot. It's just, the gun is just super accurate. And it has the power. That's what's amazing. One thing I didn't mention for you, This is ambidextrous. You can put the charging handle back over to this side, so I didn't mention that in the beginning of the video. I wanted to make sure that was mentioned. I like the breakup here of color. They did a nice job throwing that. I guess Ryan's this coyote here. Is that what that is? That is just awesome. What a great product to launch for 2022. Wow. This is a keeper right here. This is Rick with Shooter 1721. Thanks for watching.